All right, and we're back. Games 5 through 8 coming at you. Let's see who we got coming on the live stream pair. "10 minutes of practice." We'll let you filter through some practice shots. And have the scores scrolling after 4. Let me refresh, see if I can get it updated on the boys. Chris Willie still in first at plus 48. Ian Ridgway in second, plus 37. Eric Julian, plus 36. So 4 are plus. Olivia Bolzen, plus 15. Brandon Biano, minus 6. For the U15 girls, Mabel Cummins, 822, so plus 22. U15 boys, Alexander Nolan, 642 for 4. And U20 girls, 792 for Kayla Crawford, minus 8. Looks like about a 50 pin difference between first and second. Peyton Addig, 745 for the U20 girls. So practice on the way. We'll be back to start game 1. All right, practice time is over. Games 5 through 8 coming up. Not sure of initials just yet, but waiting for the lanes to continue on. Looks like we have some music playing as well. Looks like we have Lauren Schaefer, Connell Kelleher, Mitchell Guzzle, let's see who we have on the other lane. Sydney Gill, Madeline Wary, Serenity Quintero. So game number 5. 4 games left to determine the winner. Between 1 and 10 in the U20 boys is only 100 pins, so definitely doable to jump quite a few spots. And Jenica Barron. So, and on the other pair we have Lauren Schaefer, Connell Kelleher. Let's see who the couple other. Want to thank Vince Biondo for sitting in the booth. Hopefully we can possibly get him in here for round 2 after maybe game number 5. I know he's busy watching his son, but hopefully we can get him on the pair while during the live stream to maybe see what's going on with him.
One of the porters to 18.
Possibly see if Eric Littig, head coach for the boys for St. Ambrose, or see if he could come in, or see if we can get somebody down this way. All right, so we have head coach for the St. Ambrose bowling team, Eric Littig, here with us sitting in the booth. I've been informed that Eric has a tendency to break equipment from a previous live stream event. So
almost.
We're going to make sure he's...
I didn't break anything. It was almost.
Almost, all right. So you ready for this upcoming season?
It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah. I know you guys work hard in the off season to for recruitments and everything like that. So
yeah. A lot of the bowlers in this event today are high school juniors and seniors, and even younger than that. Some of them haven't even started the process of where they're going to go. Others have already made their mind up. But yeah, you're always looking for good young talent, and this tournament draws them in every year. Amazing prize fund. A lot of talented players here.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the good tournaments that you can really scope out and see future prospects for collegiate bowling.
Yeah, and the conditions today are extremely challenging.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Definitely, at least on the fresh, saw some struggle. I mean, was not expecting 300 game one.
That was an amazing game because I haven't seen much over 230 other than that.
No, and I did hear during the break that was set the record, of course, for highest game bowled in
highest game ever bowled in the 8 years of this tournament. Yeah, by a lot.
Previous game was like I think 267 or something.
267.
Yeah. So, but yeah, some pretty good talent here today. You have Chris Willie, I believe he was chosen for junior team last year.
Yeah, Chris is a great bowler. He bowls for Wisconsin Whitewater. Good friend of mine, Sean Walker, coaches there.
Then we got Brandon Biondo. We got
Brandon's on
of course,
Junior Team USA.
Kayla Crawford.
Kayla's on Junior Team USA. Yep.
Jordan, I always pronounce her name wrong. Newham.
Yep.
Newham.
No.
She bowls for Vanderbilt.
Yep.
So yeah, Zach Sasser is in front of us. You can't see him, but yeah, definitely some good talent out there. I mean, look out college bowling the next couple of years.
Well, that's what's we talk about this all the time, but that's what's fueling. You know, the women's pro tour right now is being fueled by the college game, which is fueled by the high school bowling and scholarship competition. It all is an assembly line to adult bowling.
Absolutely, yeah.
They start in scholarship competition and become high school bowlers and become college bowlers, and then they think about bowling some bigger events or some PBA events. I mean, look at the USBC Queens 2 weeks ago, had 255 entries. You know, not that many years ago, that wouldn't have been possible.
No.
Without high school bowling and college bowling fueling that talent base.
Absolutely, yeah. Me and Vince were talking earlier. I mean, you look at AJ Johnson, who was one of the ones that started. I think he's from Oswego, but bowled this tournament, bowled college, bowled PBA. I mean, it's.
And he was a college star player, and he's won a lot of big events. And 2 years ago, he was runner-up in the Masters, leading qualifier. Finished second, I mean, college bowling tournaments like these get you prepared for the bigger stage.
Yep.
And that's why it's great to watch so many of these good young bowlers compete.
Yep.
I mean, this is always an outstanding field, but virtually every scholarship tournament you go to has a lot of talent there.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something that even though the conditions are tough today, you got to look at it as a relative perspective. I mean, they're tough for everybody. The scores reflect it for everybody, and
you just look at the talent. You don't always look at a scoreboard when you're bowling a tournament, whether they're easy or difficult.
Right.
Talent is talent, whether that talent averages 230 to win or 240 to win, or today where you might average 190 or 200 to win. It's the score is irrelevant. It's just something they use as a barometer to keep track of the standings.
Right.
So, but yeah, today they are extremely challenging today. Everybody knows that. I don't need to beat that horse to death.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
And at the end of the day, it's going to be whoever bowled best is going to have won the tournament.
Right.
Whether they're minus 100 or plus 100.
Right. Yeah, spare game is going to be huge today.
Yeah, you can't. On a condition like this, you've got to keep it in play the best you can, maintain your composure, and make your spares, because you can't give single pins away. You can't miss 50 or 60 pins worth of spares and expect to have bowled well in this event.
Right, or in any I mean,
Same way in college bowling. You've got to fill the frames in if you want to stay in the lineup, because that's the only way you compete against the best collegiate teams in the nation is to fill the frames in.
Yeah.
I know it sounds easy.
Yeah, those conditions are, are tough for you to fill frames on. I mean, you have spare balls that hook that.
Oh yeah. Right.
So it's definitely a challenge, and one of the great aspects of the sport is collegiate bowling, just because of what it brings to the table as far as the talent that it brings too. So
and more and more teams, more schools in the country are starting collegiate programs, and that's fantastic because it affords so many more kids to go to college at a reduced rate because they're going to get academic and athletic scholarship money.
Right. Yeah. So, everybody knows that they need all the help they can get now.
Right. Bowling has become absolutely huge. I believe there are, just in the men's game, there are over 150 schools that have bowling programs, and that number only goes up every single year.
Oh yeah.
And with women, I believe it's over 110 programs now that have bowling.
Yeah, you look at St. Ambrose, was 7 years ago? 7 years ago they started, and look at where you guys have grown that program to today. I mean, it's amazing. And you just get a few kids that say, I want to bowl and have the talent, like your Kyle Anderson. You used to have Brian Thompson, Jack Urban, and it just explodes. You see them in the tournaments like this, and they're wearing a St. Ambrose shirt. Something I should look into.
Yeah, and every coach, you try to stress. You choose a school for the education,
right?
And then if bowling is offered, or if you're no different, if you're a football player. If football is offered, that's a great side perk to have as a member of a university.
But academics comes first. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's a cliche, but it's also a fact.
Right.
If you don't pass your classes, you're not going to be bowling anyway.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. Yeah.
And the example I always use is if you come in and fall off a curb that first day before the first practice session even begins and shatter your ankle and you never bowl again. Well, I hope you're at a university that you like for the education, because you're not going to be bowling.
Exactly.
Same way with a football player that gets hurt. Still going to go to school there. And there are so many, not just in numbers, the number of colleges that have began bowling programs, but the overall quality you see now, the depth of the college game has expanded tremendously.
Right. Yeah, and the tournaments that schools host, and everything and anything that goes into it has just exploded in the last,
And your top college players bowl everything they can get their hands on.
Oh yeah.
They compete every weekend they can get their hands on a tournament. They're there.
There is no off season.
No, that just prepares you.
Right. Yeah, whether it's nationals,
even in the summer for junior gold.
Yep.
With Junior Gold coming up in a little over a month, there are a ton of camps and clinics in May, June, early July that only helps bowlers get prepared for the Junior Gold experience.
Right.
USBC just announced yesterday that over 3,600 entries for Junior Gold this year.
Yeah.
That's, I believe, 600 more than last year.
Yep.
And
it's just growing.
I've been attending Junior Gold since the second year of Junior Gold back in 1999, and that first year they had 538 entries. So it just keeps growing and growing, and now with the younger age divisions, kids are getting involved in an earlier age, and again, that's going to keep them around the game for the rest of their life.
Absolutely, yeah. It just makes them, well groomed for later events and later, whether or not they go on and bowl high school, college, and etc. But they get that exposure early, and it's just like riding a bike.
Well, and I'm here to tell you, when you go to that 12 and under and that 15 and under age divisions at Junior Gold, don't think for a minute that those kids can't bowl, because there is some amazing talent in both of those divisions as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You look at today. We were talking earlier with a couple of the girls. They were. I'm trying to pull up her name. Mabel Cummins.
Oh, she's an outstanding.
Yeah,
she's the only girl today right now that's plus.
Yeah, And
just an
she would be
outstanding competitor. And she was a freshman. She'll be a sophomore in high school this next year.
And she'd be in fourth in the U20 boys division right now, which is amazing.
And she's 14.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of good talent across the board. And even if you think, well, junior gold's not for me, it's the experience that counts, that makes the difference in the world.
Well, Craig Crawford and myself, 3 weeks from today, we're hosting a junior gold clinic at Orland Bowl.
That's right.
And that's one of the first and last things that we emphasize. This will be our third year of doing it. And we say that to everybody. You got to go for the entire experience, not just the bowling.
Right.
So many families make a vacation of it. It's an expensive trip for a lot of people, but you got to enjoy yourself the whole time you're there.
Right.
Bowling is a huge part of it. But there are going to be times in any competitive event, but especially at junior gold, that you're going to struggle to knock pins down.
Absolutely.
So you got to enjoy the entire experience while you're there.
Right. Yeah, and that's on and off the lanes is huge because it affects your mental game, and that
Yes.
If you're having fun, it makes all the world a difference.
And USBC has done a tremendous job to grow the youth program and college bowling.
Yeah.
And they're putting everything they've got behind it, and the junior gold program as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got something really, really good going here. And again, it all funnels into one another, from high school, scholarship, college, and all the big tournaments. It all funnels into each other.
Right. Right, and it's full circle, and it's just one of those things that you look at many sports and it's like that, but the team atmosphere that even though junior gold is a singles tournament, there is so much other team atmosphere things that you can do. There's side tournaments, and then there's and then if you make it, I mean, that's a whole nother experience too. You make junior team or Team USA, and
this year they've added an additional day. They've cut the blocks down from 5 games to 4, but they've added a day, so they've actually increased the number of qualifying games from 15 to 16.
Right.
But between your registration day, your 2 practice days, your 4 days of qualifying, and if you make the finals, you could bowl an additional 2 days. It's potentially 8 consecutive days you're going to be on the lanes competing at the highest level in youth competition. I mean, that is a mental grind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a long week, and
you're going to learn a lot about yourself and how you handle adversity and different situations that week alone.
Right.
It's invaluable experience, I think. I mean, Junior Gold has 6,500 members this past year, and more than half of them qualified for Junior Gold. And I think any young bowler that is aspiring to become a better bowler needs to really, if you can afford it, if that's what you want, you got to try to qualify for Junior Gold, some way, somehow.
Yeah, good odds. I mean, half of the bowlers. I mean, that's. And I mean, it just keeps growing, like you said. 3,000 last year, 3,600 this year. I mean,
Well, and 2 years ago it was 2,300.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gone up another 1,300 in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, I realize adding the lower age divisions has probably driven that a lot of that. But even your U20 divisions of the boys and the girls have increased tremendously. So it's coming from everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
And high school bowling's growing across the country at lightning quick pace as well.
Oh yeah, there's high schools that add it every year.
Yep.
And people that lobby for it every year, and it's becoming one of those things you see more times than none in high schools around the country.
I've been coaching for 27 years, and I can tell you in those 27 years the growth of high school bowling and college bowling, and there weren't 27 years ago there were no scholarship tournaments.
Yeah.
Now that's just come about in the last 20 to 25 years, and now you can really, if you're a top player, you can add a huge amount to your bankroll to help pay for your collegiate education.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the great things too. You can't stress that enough. It's just helps tremendously with, because college so expensive now. It's
Oh my goodness.
it's a great thing. I mean, look at this tournament today. I think they said they had $9,000 in prize fund. I mean, that's
$9,000
huge.
today.
Yeah.
Be
Ladies,
given
we're
out.
walking around one more time for the 50/50
Well,
raffle.
for an example, Kyle
Right now,
Anderson,
the
who
winning
bowled for me at
ticket
St.
is
Ambrose,
up to
graduated
$200.
2 years ago. He made over $60,000 in scholarship money during his career.
Yeah. That's astronomical. I
Kayla
mean,
Crawford, that's here bowling today, she's nearing the $20,000 mark, and she's got 3 years in college.
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, you can, now, it costs money to go bowl tournaments and to travel to get there and to pay the entry fee, but the bottom line is, a lot of times, if you pay your dues and learn to bowl and become better, you're going to add some money onto that.
Right. Yeah. And
You look at it as an investment.
right. Yeah, and Kayla won Pepsi. Won.
Yep.
What was last weekend?
Last week she won the Elite Youth
That's
Tour
right.
event, $650.
With that 50-50 amount,
Yeah, that,
about $9,300.
It adds up in a hurry.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, it's not bad for a weekend's worth of work either.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. And like we talk about, you just, to get better in anything in life, you just have to get out there and do it.
right. Right.
You have to go compete, and there's going to be days where you don't perform as well as you want to, but those are the days you learn more about yourself and what you need to work on and what you do good and what you need to work on so that you become better at that. I always like to say, make your weaknesses stronger and make your liabilities not as liable. You know
Right.
what I mean? You each bowler has a set of strengths and weaknesses, and
Speaking of Kayla, she just
I'm kind of trying to
flushed that
just
one.
trying
Yeah.
to kind of trying to peek down there.
Looks like she can strike out for 217.
Let's see. Yeah, she can strike out for 217. Oh, let's watch Tom Henniff stick there. It looked like
Yeah.
he was on a double
turkey.
or a turkey.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
We just saw the end of that.
It's something you just got to shake off
Yeah.
and
Kayla's up now. Oh, she got that ball in. Oh,
she get away with it.
carried the Brooklyn.
Yep, all
Trip
right.
to 6. If it's going to go Brooklyn, it might as well strike.
Oh yeah, exactly. She'll end up in
She'll
the
pay for it
210s.
down the line.
Yeah, yeah.
With a ring and 10 or a solid 8. Yeah, they have 3 games left after this game. This
Yep.
is just an 8-game sweeper today. There's no
No match play,
finals, no format,
Yep.
no step ladder, nothing like that. Yep. But on this condition, 8 games today, you're
Brutal.
gonna have earned it. Yeah.
You're gonna sleep in tomorrow. That's it.
Right. $213 for Kayla.
Yep. Does that bring her back to plus? I don't remember where she was at.
No, she was minus
Yeah,
8
so that'll-
before that, plus 5.
Yep. So that's good. At least, saw a couple of early games, like game 2, 3, 4, where her spare game was huge.
Well, she got out of the game quick today with 231, and then after that, not quite as sharp. She moved into the bowling center, and they were a little tighter down there, and she struggled with the transition a little bit.
For the next 3
But-
games, again, you will skip a pair for the remainder.
Never got out of it though.
Well,
Like,
it's become the strength of her game. That's what has made the
Right.
player that she is she's a grinder, and she knows how to battle through, even though when she's not throwing the ball
Sure.
particularly well. And that is another factor in coaching, is you've got to convince anywhere from 15 to 20-year-olds that
Yeah.
even when you're not throwing the ball well, you still have to compete.
Right,
So,
right.
Right.
Yeah, and it's hard for people to look at, for younger generations, including myself, that, I want to get to Kayla's level. What do I got to do to get there? And a lot of the times they want something overnight,
Well, they
and
want-
it's
Yeah,
not there. Yeah, you
That's
just have
what
to
I was
work
gonna
at it.
do. A lot of kids that have come to me for their for help, they want me to wave the magic wand and your scores go up 20 pins. And I don't ever get your scores to go up 20 pins. They do that through their own hard work.
Right.
But if you're not willing to listen and not willing to put in the work, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And that, like you just said, that's not going to happen overnight. You don't go to bed and then the next morning get up and your average went up 10 pins.
Right.
You put a lot of work in, and the better you become, the harder getting to those higher levels becomes.
Yeah, and it's those marginal improvements, even though they're marginal, they're improvements, and that makes your game something like a Kyle Anderson's or a Kayla's or an AJ Johnson.
There's
It's
so much talent here today. So many of these kids have put in thousands of hours of work on their game and practicing and coaching lessons, and because they all want to get better.
Yeah,
that's why they're here.
Yep. Yeah, and it shows. So we got Mabel.
Yeah, we're going to get a look at Mabel Cummins. She's an outstanding young up-and-coming player.
Jacob Perkins. Freshman in high school, did you say, possibly?
Should be a sophomore next year.
Sophomore in high school?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've noticed just in the last year how much better her physical game has gotten.
Wow.
And part of that is just growing up and getting a little stronger, and she's just so good through the ball.
Yeah.
Her balance is very good. And she's a competitor. She's won some major events already in her career, even at age 14.
Yeah, and you see a lot with when kids end up, they're, especially when high school days, their hands change so frequently, their shoe size change so frequently.
Their span goes up overnight, it seems like sometimes.
A week ago, something fit, and now you're changing out grips every week. Yep.
Yeah, there's kids that I see sometimes in August that I haven't seen them since May, and
they're taller than you?
Everybody's taller than me, but they're not as wide as me. But they've grown 4 inches since I last saw them.
Right.
So you can imagine if you're growing in height, your span is also going to grow. So
of course. So it looks like Mabel had a 5'7".
Yeah, I didn't see her first shot. I didn't see when she left. Oh, that's right. She did leave the 5'7". And she's up again here. Looks like that was a good shot. Yep. The 5'7", I did see that shot. That actually wasn't that bad a shot. Her first shot moving to a different pair. I mean, the ball just went a little long on her.
Right.
She threw it pretty well.
Yeah, she does throw it really nice.
Yeah, there's, from running the Greater Iowa tournaments for the past 17 years, I've just marveled at all of the talent that comes through the door. And you stress this too, is that there are so many talented players that just simply haven't broken through yet.
Right.
I mean, it's just a case of putting it all together. And that's what bowling these events do, is they allow you to learn about yourself and what you need to work on. Plus, not to mention the fact that you learn so much from watching other good players bowl.
Yeah.
That if you don't go out there and compete, you can't learn that.
Absolutely.
You know, practice is fantastic, but competition is a whole nother thing entirely.
Right.
And when you have a front row seat to watching so many good young bowlers bowl, you may learn something from them that you didn't even have a clue before the day started that you were going to pick that up.
Yeah, I said this earlier, especially like with Kayla, with your Kyle Andersons, with your collegiate bowlers especially. They learn quickly that, you'll see Kayla arrive an hour before her squat starts, and it's not to prepare herself, it's not to do anything to her ball surfaces or anything like that. It's to strictly watch what other people are doing in the squat before, just to learn and see how the lanes are transitioning.
Right. Yeah, that's on it. Even a tournament like Junior Gold, where you have multi-squads throughout the day, you just hit the nail on the head there. You're not going to. It's going to give you an advantage if you come in and see what players who throw the ball similar to you, what they're throwing, what kind of surface they have, where they're playing. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to pull the same ball out and stand in the same spot.
Right.
But it can only help.
Right.
And that's what you talk about, preparation. That's another thing that we go over in all of our clinics, and that is preparation is so key to the big tournaments.
Right.
How you approach the sport. What you do to prepare both physically and with your equipment and mentally and all of that together. That is just something that the top level players look at entirely different than bowlers who are aspiring to get to that level.
Right. And I solely am convinced that, everybody will tell you, okay, I'm going to junior gold. Here's the junior gold patterns. I'm going to practice on them, see what balls I need for them, and then bring those balls. But, a huge part of that is realizing what ball movements and changes that you have to make, because, your machine at whatever center might put out something, but when you go to junior gold, it's a whole different animal. And
how many times have you bowled a tournament in your life where you strike at will in practice and the lights come on, and I hear the saying, my look went away.
Absolutely.
Well, a lot of times it isn't your look went away. Your adrenaline now is at a different level.
Right.
You're throwing the ball a little harder, or you're not catching quite as much. Things change. And again, when you compete, you're going to learn that about yourself. I always tell everybody that whenever I had the front 11 strikes in my life, I always moved a board right. And people say, how would you move after when you got the front 11? And I always say, I knew I was going to be pumped up, and I knew I would throw it a little harder. And it worked, it worked a bunch of times for me.
Right.
So, but everybody's got their own little knack, and those are the kind of things that you learn in the heat of competition, what you do well and what you don't do as well, so you can work on those things when you're practicing.
Right.
And all of these kids have put in so much work on their game. That's why they're at this level. This is not just a bunch of young bowlers that came in from the outside to get out of the rain and bowl.
Right.
They've had this event marked on their schedule for a long time, like they have all of the tournaments on their schedule that they're going to bowl.
Right. They know what's at stake, and that's why they're here, just because of the prize money that's involved for scholarship
and talent draws talent.
Absolutely.
If you're a good bowler, you want to bowl against other good bowlers.
Right.
Anywhere, anytime, any lane condition, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's going to make you better, and just be able to enhance the features that, or even help you work on some of the features that you're having struggles with.
Yep. That's what bowling is. It's like you said a little while ago, it's a series of improvements, some small, some big.
Right.
You always wish you had a video of most of these kids bowling when they were 12 or 13, and then when they're done with their college bowling, to see the unbelievable improvement in them. I see Livio Bolton is on a TV pair.
Yeah, let's see if we can.
He goes to Lindenwood University.
He went 6'3", 8'1" so far.
Yeah, I think he's struggling a little bit today.
Looks like we have updated standings after
David
5.
Eggert here getting up in the approach. He's going to Wisconsin Whitewater next year. Be a freshman there.
Talk about another tournament.
There's Caitlin Keith over there on the right, I see.
Yeah.
She's going to be a freshman for us at St. Ambrose next season. I coach both of her older brothers.
Not left-handed, though.
No, and not an identical twin either, like those two were.
Very true.
Yeah, we have the standings after 5 now.
It's like Ian Ridgway jumped into first, 10:54.
Plus 54. Brandon
Biondo jumped to second.
He's had 240 the last 2 games to get in within 15 teams of the league. Eric Julian is now in third. He started with that 300 game.
Chris Woolley dropped a little bit after shooting 140.
And Livio Livio overcame that start.
Wow.
So he's right there.
Went 160, 220, 220, 220, and then 160. So it'll be interesting to see.
Right now we're down to just 2 guys that are plus right now. I said several hours ago, I would be surprised if anybody was plus today, and I think we're down to 2 guys and 1 girl in the U15 division. So
2 girls, Mabel and Kayla.
Oh, that's right. Kayla got you +5. Right. Emily Schrader's moved up into second. Serenity Quintero's in third. Abby Ragsdale, Sarah Willie. Taylor Bailey's in sixth.
About a 50-pin difference between first and second, and then about a 100-pin difference between fifth and first. So definitely still doable.
With three games left,
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen.
No.
You just want to keep grinding and filling the frames and see what might happen. In a condition like this, a little 3 or 4 bagger is going to give you 30 extra pins.
Right.
I mean, that's going to pass some people when you throw some strikes. Even a 180 or 190 game is probably not going to hurt you all that much on this kind of condition.
No, you saw that with Kayla.
Yeah.
With the 2 190s and even the 177 or whatever she had.
And still hung on to the lead after that 177.
Yeah. Ooh. 467.
Levio just left that. Yeah. Brianna Schmidt's got a nice 3-bagger going here.
Is that who that is? I was trying to figure out who his initials those were.
Yep. Yeah, she'll be up here on the right lane.
Yeah.
Start out with a spare, and he's 3 in a row now. She's got pretty good fundamentals as well. Nice balance at the line.
Yeah. Ooh.
See, even a shot like that wasn't that bad a shot. It just went a little long on her, didn't make the turn, and now she leaves, something that's a really difficult spare.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the very last call for the 50-50 drawing. Right now it's worth $247. If you want, come right up here if you want to last.
So any advice to aspiring college students coming out of high school, or
$7 for the winner right now.
what they should work on, or
Last call for the 50-50.
Again, you have to realize what part of your game physically and mentally, and I stress mentally because a lot of these young bowlers throw the ball fantastic. Yeah, there's some physical work needed on all of us.
right?
But usually there's far more work needed to be done upstairs, whether it's knowledge or how you approach the game, or versatility on the lanes,
Sure.
or reading transition, or making at the line release adjustments, or better preparing your equipment. I mean, there are so many intangibles that separate the players from the bowlers. And the best advice I could ever give anybody that's getting ready to move up a level, or to go into high school or to go into college is just keep working hard and use that support system around you, your family and your friends and your other good bowlers that you call friends, because you're going to lean on them in the times when things aren't going right. Otherwise, you'll commit Harry-Carry. You'll drive yourself into a stark raving conniption fit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, especially in college, since you do live far apart, and I mean, there's people that I wish I see more regularly, but it's just one of those things. You end up getting into the real world, and
and what we also say about college bowling is so many kids that go to college as a bowler, they were the star player on their high school team.
right?
And when you go attend college, now you're on a team with a bunch of players that were stars on their high school team.
Right.
And it's a whole different ballgame. A lot of players are significantly far away from home. You have new classes, you have new campus, you're living with people you've never lived with.
Right.
You're dealing with all kinds of other. You have to do your own laundry for the first time in your life a lot of times.
Some still don't, but
where to eat. You're dealing with a whole bunch of different things in your life that all of that can, and in many times does, impact the way you perform on the lanes. It all goes together.
yeah, especially around finals time. I mean, you have more stressors there that definitely impact you on the lane. So I mean,
Yep.
you got to find a good way to maintain that.
You got to
those
balance your
feelings.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when it's classes, or when you eat, or when you practice, or when you do other things with your friends.
Good spare.
And sometimes that's not easy to do. As
Yeah.
a freshman in college, you go through so many things that you probably didn't envision yourself going through. So therefore, you lean on your friends and your coaches and your professors and your counselors and your family and all of that.
Yeah, it's a different atmosphere. It's
Yeah, high school bowling and college bowling, they run directly from one to the other, but they're a whole different ball game.
oh yeah. Especially a lot of the times with very few associations or even states will offer high school bowling at a sports shop level. So I mean, if you come out of high school and
Right. Yeah, and I mean, again, most of your collegiate stars have extensive experience bowling on challenging conditions.
right,
And the bottom line there is, if you don't, college bowling is going to be a shock.
right,
Because college bowling, they bowl on the most challenging conditions you'll ever see.
absolutely.
And the way college bowling transitions these sport patterns, and I'm just saying, you better be prepared mentally to not strike as much as you used to.
Yeah,
And if you continue to strike as much as you used to, then you're pretty darn good.
yeah. Yeah, with collegiate bowling, I mean, it's one of those things that the conditions, people, I mean,
I've always prided myself on. I don't brag about anything, but I've always prided myself. I think I know quite a bit about the sport of bowling, but college bowling makes me feel like I know nothing about the sport of bowling at times.
yeah, so. No, I agree. I mean, it's one of those things that I mean, I growing up, I look at college bowling averages. I was like, well, I could do that, and it's probably the same thing with PBA averages, but then you get to it and you're like, okay, then it's not as easy as it seems.
No. It's like this tournament today. This is very similar to a college condition, and
right.
You see a lot of really, really good bowlers today that are struggling to shoot 180.
Right.
And you can't judge. You can't take that personally. You have to use it for what it's worth. And again, this is going to bring out your weaknesses, whether it's spare shooting, balance at the line, knowledge of your own equipment.
Right.
And that's a point. I mean,
Okay,
I see a
we're
lot
on
of
to the
players
50-50 right now.
just reaching into their bag for something, but you've got to have a purpose to reach into the bag for the ball. You can't just be guessing and grab this one and say maybe it'll work, because you're going to spend valuable frames in test mode. And not that you're always going to know what every ball's going to do, but you have to know your own equipment.
Right.
And you have to have some sort of indication. By now we're in game 6 of what you think might work and what you're going to rule out.
075 for 200.
Yeah, you can't go fishing, because then you might just end up digging yourself deeper in a hole. If
Right. And sometimes you do gamble.
yeah,
And again, that was always, when I bowled tournaments, I wanted to know the standings and the score, because I wanted to know, did I have to maybe make a gamble and make a big ball choice and maybe make a big move to risk shooting 160, knowing that maybe 240 makes a difference of getting me in the finals or getting a check.
right.
And that's different for every person. Some people, I was always a conservative bowler. I didn't like to make big moves. But some people are more comfortable making big moves.
Right.
And everybody's different. There's really no right or wrong way to do things. It's just whatever you do best.
Right.
And as you get older and as you learn to continue to get better and better and better, you're going to learn those things about yourself.
Yeah, it's just the way of the game.
Well, that's one of the great things about the game bowling is everybody does it different.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you see all the. Me and Vince talked about all the different approaches that have come up just in the last 5 years. I mean.
Yep.
It's just evolving and.
Yeah, you got your power players, your strokers, your tweeners, your two-handers, your lefties, and your right. I mean, there's so many different ways to get the ball down the lane, and if you find a way to do it consistently, then you're only going to get better.
Yeah. And that's key. I mean, consistency.
Yeah, that. Bowling is, no matter how much power has come out of the game, no matter how much, the bowling equipment and the lane technology and the computer system have changed the game of bowling, it is still a game of repetition. Absolutely.
Yep. And I couldn't have said it better. I mean, it's just, you look at Mabel right now is unfortunately washed out, but
when you look at her balance at the line, it's obviously the strength of her game right now.
Right.
And when you've got good balance like that, even when you're struggling, you can still stay in the game because you always revert back to your fundamentals when things are not going well.
Right. And she's not worried about letting it leak to the left or to the right, or maybe it was just a bad shot, but she's not unbalanced at the line where she forced that ball to 5 or anything like that.
Yeah, she probably just missed her target a little bit to the right, and it hung, and that's all it takes on this condition. If you miss a little bit to the right or to the left, it's going to hook. If you miss left, if you miss right, it's gone.
Right.
And because the right portion of the lane for the right-handers has been somewhat out of play today, everyone has migrated in, and that's what we have in college bowling, because rarely do you get to play way right, so everybody migrates in, and they migrate in early, and then they chew up the fronts halfway through the tournament.
It looks like we're just finishing up game number 6. 2 more to go.
Yep, they're in most of the bowlers are in the last 2 or 3 frames of game 6.
Looks like 25 and 26 in front of us is it's a pretty nasty pair here.
There is not a lot being shot on that pair right now. The high score I see is going to be 119 of the 7th. Let's see, the bottom player has something a little better than that going.
Yeah, not by much though.
No. And really, if you look up and down throughout the bowling centers, I see there's a good game going over here on 29 and 30.
Yeah.
But
overall, it's not.
That's Chris Willey that's got a good game going on top up there. But he just came off a 148 game last game.
Right.
To drop down into, I believe, 5th place. So he needs it to get back going again.
Is that Brianna Schmidt that you were saying earlier?
Yeah.
See what she can.
She's working on a possible 197.
Yeah.
And she just missed the head.
Yeah.
It does not take much to miss the head pin. You see Levio just shooting in a washout.
He's a possible 152. And Brandon Mooney. Name does not ring a bell, but it's a possible 240.
Yeah, he's got a good game going.
Yeah.
And when you in this field, in this condition, if you shoot 230 or 240, you're going to go up significantly.
Oh yeah, like 5 spots almost.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's
just fly up the standings with a little string of strikes on this.
Yeah.
Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. So does tying a shoe, but I still can't do that.
I have to have help with that sometimes.
Velcro's my friend. So he struck the first one in the 10th, so it's definitely gonna.
I don't know where
Mooney.
We'll
Let's see.
They're all standing down there.
He's at 9th. Yeah,
he's
so
minus 70. He can climb right back in this.
Oh yeah.
Get right back up there and only 20 under.
Yeah, he's definitely in it. Looks like he came in a little light there.
I guess I'd call those pants canary.
Canary?
The color of those pants. Yep, yellow.
I got to get you a pair of those Cubs pants.
They don't make that much material. You'd have to call the factory.
Bed sheet?
Chris Wiley just struck again for 235. That's going to help him.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a big rebound. That's another factor we like to talk about is rebounding. When you have it, and you're going to have bad games, and you just got to come back from them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Right there, he shot 148 to drop down into 4th place, and he just came right back with a 235. And you've got to have some good character and some good fortitude to be able to physically and, more importantly, mentally do that. And I get a lot of parents that are thinking about where they want to go to school, and they ask me what's the first thing I look at in a potential freshman at St. Ambrose, and I always say the same thing, and that's character.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have character, life's not going to be as much fun for you, because you're going to have some things thrown at you that you're not prepared for, and you got to have the character and the perseverance and the fortitude to fight through that and say, nothing's going to stop me from my goals.
Right. Well, and that goes back to, not only game at a time, but frame at a time. I mean, if you come off a bad shot and let it affect you, it's going to affect you the rest of the game.
An old friend I had from 35 years ago taught me that when I was bowling a 4-game tournament, and I said 44 games, and he said no, 40 frames. And to this day, that's a technique I use. I always tell bowlers it's not 8 games, it's 80 frames. Your first frame means the same as your 10th frame of game 8. Every frame counts the same, and some may seem like they mean more than others, but you've got to keep fighting every frame.
Right. Yeah, and you saw that with Chris Willie and.
Yeah. How many times have you bowled a tournament in your life, and you finish and you're like, man, I wish I had changed that ball earlier, or man, I wish I had, made that move a little bit sooner. Well, that's okay, but you don't ever want to leave a tournament saying I didn't give my best.
Right.
I should have buckled down and tried a little harder. You don't ever want to leave a tournament in that situation. You always want to leave knowing you gave 100%, because that's the only way you're going to be truly satisfied that the trip was worth it, whether it's good or bad results. See, most of them are just about in the 10th frame here of their 6th game. Down to 2 games left here.
Got Kayla Crawford in front of us, so.
And she's really struggling this game. She needs a couple good shots on the 10th just to get 160 or 170 out of this game. She made a ball change. No, she didn't. She stayed with it.
She carries 4 pin.
4 pin. This is one of those instances. She's had 1 strike this entire game.
Yeah. I think that's been the last couple games.
Yeah, and you look across from her, and the bowler across from her had 1. The bowler underneath that bowler had 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and there's a bowler below Kayla has had 1 strike. There's just not an abundance of strikes out there to be had. If you're earning them.
We're getting really good breaks.
Yeah, and your breaks aren't going to come consistently.
No.
You're not going to shoot 230 on this because you carried 5 Brooklyns.
Right.
You're going to shoot 230 on this because you hit the pocket 8 or 9 times.
Looks like they're just transitioning, and
these last couple games are going to be extremely interesting.
yeah,
The lanes right now, you have to keep in mind they started 5 hours ago.
right.
So they've undergone some serious changes.
Yeah, and you figure a half-hour break, that alone, letting the lane rest like that is huge in itself, and then they got 10 minutes more of practice. So you might have finished on 40 and hit that game too, but it's not even
right. Yeah, they did the same thing here. They didn't say what condition it was on.
Right.
And more tournaments are going to that, like Junior Gold this year will be the first time ever
To not tell them.
that you don't know what conditions you're on, and everybody, let me tell you that too, everybody will say, oh, I know what we're on after practice. Well,
No.
the next person will say, well, no, I think it's this.
Yeah.
And I mean, the bottom line there is whether you have a piece of paper in front of you with a graph or a chart on it, you still have to make your adjustments by what your ball is doing on the lane.
Right.
And I can tell you, as coaches, you've got to be able to read ball reaction and ball motion and that, and it's the same way as a bowler. And again, if you're not patient and looking at it the right way, it's going to be hard for you to see that
Right.
on the lanes. If you get frustrated, if you lose focus, you're going to have trouble reading your own ball motion.
Right.
And that's what we talk about, character. For instance, Kayla just shot 159 after a 217. We're going to see what she does after this game. And that's has become one of her strengths over the last couple of years, is that character to come back after a game like that.
Right. Oh, yeah. And
All of your top players possess that.
Yeah.
Nobody becomes a top-level competitor without the ability to fight back after some adversity, be it a bad break, a couple bad frames, an entire bad game, a bad tournament.
right.
This is yet one of my other many cliches that I come up with, but one of my favorite statistics in all of sports is on the Pro Golfers Tour, the PGA Tour, that they've just started in the last 5 to 6 years. It's called the bounce back statistic.
Okay.
And I talk about this to my college bowlers. And on the tour, it's how many times when a player has a bogey or worse, do they come back with a birdie or better on the next hole?
Right.
And I always say that's true in bowling too, whether if you just have an open frame or two, a missed spare or a split, whether you come back that next frame with a good shot, or whether you just shoot a rough game to come back with a good game behind it. That's perseverance, that's guts, that's being a competitor. And the better you become at doing that, the better you will become as a tournament competitor.
Yeah.
At any level, in any sport. It's all the same. I don't care whether it's swimming or jogging or football, anything.
Right. Yeah, and me and Vince were talking earlier. He had a very good point. When you look at somebody like a Kayla Crawford or like a Kyle Anderson or somebody of that caliber, you look at them off the lanes, and they're still a class act. I mean, you still have a quality, person in general. Just because it's.
Yeah, we've all made mistakes. And
Of course.
Maybe not said or done the right thing at all times, but you try to atone for those mistakes, but you also try to work on them so they don't happen repeatedly.
Right.
And because, like I always say, you could win this tournament 3 years in a row, but if you did a few things or said a few things that weren't maybe the right things to do or say, that's what people are going to remember about.
Right.
So image, as Andre Agassi used to say, image is everything.
Right.
And that's true in college bowling as well. That's true in all walks of life. And especially today with social media and
absolutely.
and Twitter and Facebook and texting and everything. I mean, you may be on the sending end of an email or a text, but the person receiving it from you might think you sent it in a totally different manner.
Yeah.
So that's why you've got to choose your words carefully. You've got to think before you post. You don't want to talk down to anybody. You don't want to degrade anybody for their bowling because they're trying just as hard as you are.
Right. Austin Bull.
Yeah.
Kaylee Zukovic. Maybe Brandon Biondo.
That's my guess.
MD, I'm not sure. That was a good shot.
Austin Bull's a good young bowler. Mike Dirks, I see, is on one of our featured players. He goes to St. Francis University. He's a good player. He'll be up now.
There's actually quite a few St. Francis's. Does he attend the one here?
Pardon?
St. Francis here?
In Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get you a website. You don't got a website?
Soon. What? Soon. The business name is being finalized still, so.
Well, it's easy, man. We just do .tv. We got almost all these domain names. We just put a little bit in med. Take
About 20.
Did you see how I had that
like
off?
15 or 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, but trademark and everything is a couple $100, so. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it'll come in time.
The BB is not Brandon Biondo.
It is not.
It's the left-hander, Brad.
Gotcha.
Barrett throws the ball very nice.
I did not get a chance to see who the TA was. Wonder who. That was a good shot.
That ball came back a long way.
Ooh.
I believe in this tournament, we have 5 bowlers on a pair, and they're using, what are they using, 20 pair, 30, 11, 30, 15 pair. So there's almost 80 bowlers here. Like I said, we're down to just less than a handful that are plus.
Yeah.
That's all you really need to know about how challenging they are.
Yeah. It's but like you said, you know, even though you're in 10th, this is you never know what's going to happen to first, and you never know what's going to come out of your score.
Yeah, you can't control what somebody else is going to shoot. There could be somebody down in 8th place shoot 250
Right.
last game, and while the leader shoots 150, you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to keep moving forward. I'm sure pretty soon here be posting the scores after 6 games. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, let's see if we have an update.
Not quite yet.
No.
Mike Dirks is up here.
So Papa Joe's tonight for dinner? I figured you'd be stopping there.
You already know where we're going tonight.
Giordano's?
Yes.
It's a good prime example of what we were talking about. You know, start off or shoot 150, 160 last game, and then spare strike this game. So definitely.
Well, you just, when we were out at Team USA trials in January, that's how she got her spot on Junior Team USA. the last game, she had the front 8. And she had 260 to earn her spot. And that's, that's, you see that. And when you do, that's the rewards that it can lead to.
Right.
And you have to work your entire life to train yourself mentally to be in that capacity to have that happen.
Right.
Doing the ball raffle,
and there's a lot of kids here that have worked hard to get themselves in that position, that so they can bounce back after some lackluster bowling with a good game to move back, whether it's in the finals or to win the tournament or to get a check. And that's something that has to come from within as a competitor. As a coach, I can emphasize that repeatedly, but that's something that some people understand and some people have a hard time understanding.
Right.
And if you understand those kind of things, that's when you can improve quicker. Bowling's, a lot of people bowl, but at a high level, it's a whole different ball of wax.
A little over $9,300.
Yeah, so I just heard over the PA that they have $9,300 in scholarship money awarded today. So
very impressive prize fund.
Yeah.
A lot of people do a lot of hard work to get that kind of scholarship money for the young bowlers.
Yeah.
And
Plus,
again, there's tournaments every weekend you can bowl, and so many people put in so much work to allow these young bowlers the opportunities that they have. You can't appreciate that too much. I mean, you just have to take your hats off to them.
Look at Illinois Youth. You look at your tournament, the Greater Iowas. You look at drawing a blank. Deandra's tournament.
The Elite Youth Tour. Minnesota has a good scholarship tour. Our Greater Iowas, the Illinois Scholarship Tour. Patty Maurman does a fantastic job running those tournaments. And all together, they give out a lot of money to the kids that gets put to a good use. Yeah, there's a big crowd here watching this tournament here today too. A lot of people come out to root their kids and the other kids on, and
see a lot of grandparents.
Oh yeah.
Friends, brothers, sisters, boyfriend, girlfriend, everybody.
Yep. And the big events always seem to get a good crowd to watch.
Yeah. And you look at regionals, you look at the U.S. Open, you look at really anything. It's fun. Cheer on your favorite player, and
and that's how I spend the majorities of my Saturdays and Sundays is in a bowling center somewhere in the country, either coaching or helping coach or watching, and that's what we live for. We wouldn't have it any other way. It's more of a grind on the parents and the spectators and the coaches than it is on the bowlers.
That's very true.
Because we can't do anything about it.
That's very true. As long as the bowling alley has a cooler temperature, I'm okay.
That suits me just fine as well.
Yeah. This one is actually pretty nice today.
Yeah.
I remember we're hosting a regional. It was doubles that P. Weber and Wayne Webb and all those guys were bowling, and I'll never forget this. It's probably a 100-degree day outside, and everybody piled in. The practice session started, and they had 24 lanes going of the practice session, and flipped on the lanes, and the main blew for the building.
Oh,
so
goodness.
all the air conditioners and all the pin setters happened to kick on at once.
Oh boy!
And so it just blew, and eventually we got back to normal, but getting those air conditioners built up again get back to cool was definitely a struggle that night.
Well, we talk about, factors that you can't control, and I just saw the Lily left right in front of me, the 5-7-10
Yeah.
on lane 25. I I guess that was only a matter of time.
It's a factor that can't control.
Well, yeah, we were talking about that, and like last year at Junior Gold, it was day one, and a major thunderstorm blew in and knocked the power out
To Stardust.
at Stardust Bowl,
Yep.
and the tournament hadn't started yet. So you've got all of these bowlers there waiting to bowl, and they didn't get to start until 3 hours after their projected starting time. And then
Probably 1,000 people in that bowling center at least.
And USBC had to make the snap decision, to cut back a game. Otherwise, they would have never finished.
Right.
But as a bowler, you're prepared to go compete, and then you don't get to compete until 3 hours later. Those are the kind of things, and I'm not saying it's easy, but those are the kind of things that are outside factors that you can either deal with in a positive way or you can let it beat you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the squad after it. I mean, they didn't finish
Same
up till
thing.
1 a.m.
Yeah. Yep.
And luckily, it was the first day where they were able to cut back that squad to 5
if that
games.
would have happened after Squad 1 had bowled and put their 5 games in the books, then it would have been a whole nother ball game. Then you would have probably had people finishing at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's not just counting the bowlers, that's counting bowling center staff that maybe gets done at 3 or 4 in the morning and then has to come back at 7 in the morning.
For the next squad.
Yes. Well, as I always say, things work out the way they're supposed to. They just get there in a strange way sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
If life went down a straight road, it wouldn't be near as interesting.
That's very true.
And bowling is one of those examples that it's, even in a tournament that you may end up winning, everything doesn't happen easily for you. You're going to have periods of time during that tournament where you struggle, even tournament champions.
Just saw Austin Bowles stuff a 10-pin
Okay, very last call for the ball raffle.
after a 3-bagger.
Chance for the DV8 certificate.
4-bagger, I'm sorry.
Well, and he's got a good ball reaction.
Yeah, he is. And he whiffed it.
Wow.
He's currently in 6th
We're going to let George.
at minus 20.
I
So
don't know what he had last game.
yeah, we should refresh that. See if
Should be any time, I'm guessing.
Mail it in.
Oh, there they are.
Yep, there they are. We have Chris Willie back in 1st.
Yeah, see, he dropped to 4th with that 148. And
Yeah.
he shot to 235 and moved right back in the lead.
Number.
And the previous leader just shot 137, Ian Ridgway.
Yep.
6654.
I believe I heard them say they're paying 8.
1.
Okay.
I believe.
I think that is. I think you're correct.
I believe 5 in the girls, the top 5. And
3 in
girls standings on there.
and
They're
3 in both of.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You
Yep.
got
And now
Eric's dad had it for us here.
So in the U20 girls, Kayla Crawford still in 1st
leads
with a
down to
total.
30 pins.
Yeah, total score of 1164. Second is Emily Schrader with 1134. So there's a 30-pin difference there, and then Serenity is in 4th
Serenity
with.
Quintero. Abby Ragsdale's 4th.
Or I'm sorry, 3rd. Abby is
Bailey's in the
4th.
top
Yeah.
5 right now at minus 111 is your 5th place score in the girls.
Yeah. And I think they said 3 for the
Thanks, everyone,
U15
for
boys
the
and
ball
girls.
round.
I'm not sure. I don't remember how many they're paying in that division. Alex Nolan's leading the boys and Mabel Cummins leading the girls, I think.
So between 1st and 8th in the U20 boys is 100 pins. So give you an idea as to where cashing would be.
That's not a lot.
No.
For 6 games.
Yeah, we're on game 7 right now, and wow, there's like one way to make the 310.
Oh, solid 8. This is hard enough without that.
Yeah, can't do anything about that.
No, that's one of those outside factors you can't control. It's like I say about those kind of things and mistakes. Mistakes never kill you. It's how you react to them that
Yeah.
can.
All right, so I think Eric's going to be leaving us. I think he's going to go follow Kayla with the transition. So I wanted to thank him and
Anytime.
all his wisdom. Yeah, this has
I
been
wouldn't
fun.
go that far.
His sense of humor. How about that one? And we'll be seeing him, I'm sure, Junior Gold. And
I'll be there.
so I wanted to say thank you. And
All right, thank you, Joe. You
good
got
luck to Kayla.
Good service going here. I love this.
Thank you.
Gives a lot of people an opportunity to watch a lot of quality bowling.
Yeah, definitely for those that might live different states or something like that. So
Right.
awesome. Well, thank you, Eric.
All right, Joe. Thank you.
right, so last game coming up, I believe. And we'll have our top 8 for U20 boys, top 3 for U15 boys and girls, I believe, and then top 5 for U20 girls, if I'm correct. Just waiting for the transition to happen and see who we've got coming up, and then we have the award ceremony. As always, at the conclusion of this tournament, tomorrow morning the archive for this tournament stream will be posted on YouTube. Upcoming events and website will be made shortly. If interested in hosting a tournament, live streaming a tournament, please feel free to shoot me an email. Alright, looks like we have Nate and Alexander waiting on the other pair to see what they... Jenica Barron, Abby Ragsdale, see where they are on the standings. Get updated standings after the first couple frames of this game. I thank Vince and Eric for stepping in with us. Always a pleasure having those two. Step in the booth. Following the game number 8, will probably be a short intermission to calculate the scores, process them, and then on lanes 19 and 20 we will have the award ceremony. Do apologize in advance, not sure if you will be able to hear the announcements, but we'll try to interpret them as best we can to let you know who has taken the titles, and of course we'll have updated standings and everything posted online at the Illinois Youth website. ILUSBCYouth.org is the exact address. So. Looks like we're just waiting for some pairs to come back online to rotate. For people to finish up. Taylor Bailey up on lane number 31, I believe. She had a couple of top place finishes in this, if I'm not mistaken. In years past. So just waiting for an updated standings after 7 games. Let's see if we do not have it yet. So once again, in the U20 boys division, it's about a 20 pin difference between first and second. About a 40 pin difference between first and third. Standings as follows: Chris Willie first with 1231, Brandon Biondo in second with 1216, Ian Ridgway with 1191, Eric Julian with 1170, Brandon Mooney with 1165, Austin Bull with 1136, Mitchell Guzel with 1136, and Livio Bolzan with 1130. Others in the U15 girls division, Mabel Cummins with 1185 after 6, Ariana Garino with a 1042, Mackenzie Julian with 968. U15 boys, Alexander Nolan with 929. And Alex Middleton in second with 899, so there's about a 30 pin difference there. Jacob Perkins with 880. In the U20 girls, we have Kayla Crawford with 1164, Emily Schrader in second with 1134, Serenity in third with 1109, Abby Ragsdale with 1098 in fourth, Taylor Bailey 1089 in fifth, and Sarah Willie just out of the fifth spot with 1067. We got Taylor up on our lane number 32. Hoping to get some good scholarship money for placing in the top 5. jump over to our other pair, 19 and 20, really quick to see what's going on. right, sorry about that. We were just discussing the prize fund. So it looks like they are paying out top 5 for U20 girls and top 8 for U20 boys. Top 3 for U15 boys and girls. Also, in addition to that, if a U12 boy or girl finishes out of the prize fund, I believe they get $150 scholarship. So that is pretty neat. Award ceremony afterwards. We're going to see the junior gold qualifier spot recipients. So that'll be part of it. It'll be the top boy and girl in each division to qualify first. That is eligible. And let's see if we have a 7 update. If we do, Chris Willie still in first with 14:30 for the U20 boys. Brandon Biondo second, 14:07, so a 23 pin difference. Ian Ridgway third, 13:48. Eric Julian, 13:45. Brandon Mooney, 13:37. Austin Bull, Livio Bolzin, David Sante, and Mitchell Guzzo. So little change in the top 8 there. U15 girls, Mabel Cummins in first with 13:91. She has a 200 pin lead over second place. Ariana Gorino and Mackenzie Julian. And then in the U15 boys, we have Alexander Nolan with 10:73. Alexander Middleton with 10:36, so about a 40 pin difference there. And Bobby Habetler with 10:30. U20 girls. In first, Kayla Crawford, trying to defend her title with 13:49. Serenity in second with 13:06. Emily Schrader in third with 13:01. Abby Ragsdale in fourth with 12:76. And Taylor Bailey in fifth with 12:69. So 3 frames left. Game number 8. Taylor working on a 3-bagger, it looks like. And there'll probably be a pause after the live stream finishes up, just because of the other pairs probably finishing up and then calculating the scores. Mabel is actually in front of us. She can shoot 227, which I am unsure of the other girls in that division, but that would be an additional 20 pins on her existing 200 pin lead, so that might secure that spot. Don't quote me on it. You never know what could happen. I don't know where the other girls are located right now, but definitely a possibility. Just to give you perspective, Mabel would be in third right now in the U20 boys division. So definitely somebody to look out for. As a freshman in high school, she's only going to get better. See where she ends up going to school at. I'm sorry, she will be a sophomore in high school. I believe Eric told me that earlier. Looks like Taylor, a 4-bagger. Taylor Bailey up on lane 32, working on a 4-bagger. I believe she's in either the 4th or the 5th spot. So she's in the 5th spot. 1269. Definitely could move her up into the 2nd spot. With depending on what other people do. So it looks like she's carried it 5 in a row. Nate Stubler is definitely stringing some strikes too. He can strike out for 169. And he has that first one in the 10th. I'm sorry, 269. Let's see where he is at. He's currently in 11 at 1277. So if he shoots 269, he has potential to move up quite a few spots, maybe into that number 8 or number 7 spot. Depending, of course, what the others do. Got the first 2. Let's see what he does in his fill, but 260 is on the board, and Andy carries it, so 269. Very nice game. So after this game, you'll have your final standings, and you will have your winners. Looks like our other live stream pair is finishing up as well, so we'll just stay on this one. Abby Ragsdale is up in the 10th on the other one. Looks like she will shoot in the 170s, possible 180. Ryan with a double. Got that outside. 165. All right, let's see if Taylor can keep this going. Greek Church. Once completed, once we're done with this, I will toss you to the live standings. She got 1, so put her in the 191. We are in some technical difficulties with our scrolling standings, so we'll just get you over to the. Wait till everybody finishes.
sheets up to the front desk. We will get them to the proper place. For those of you that would like to stick around for the awards presentation, we will have that presentation around 19 and 20. So again, 19 and 20 will have the awards presentation.
All right, so it looks like we're just calculating scores. Waiting for them to be posted. Get the award ceremony going and have our finalists. All right, so it looks like we have updated standings. Looks like Chris Willie ended up shooting 181 or 191 his last game for the win. 16-21. Brandon Biondo 1589. Brandon will receive the junior gold spot, it looks like.
Bowlers, thank you to our various generous host center, and as a courtesy to them, please clean up your lane areas before you leave. Thank you.
Ian Ridgway took third. David Sante took fourth. Nate Stubler took fifth. Eric Ulian 6. Livio Bolzin 7. Brandon Mooney 8th. In the U20 girls division, Kayla Crawford, back-to-back champ, 1530. She will have won the spot for junior gold. Serenity Quintero, 2nd. Emily Schrader, 3rd. Taylor Bailey, 4th. Abby Ragsdale, 5th. Natalie Koprowitz, 6th. In the U15 girls, Mabel Cummins, 1st with a junior gold spot. Ariana Corino, 2nd. Mackenzie Julian. And U15 boys, Alexander Nolan, who wins the junior gold spot. And the 2nd place, Alex Middleton and Jacob Perkins in 3rd. We'll have your award ceremony live in just a second. And I believe the high game pot for each division wins a shoe cover, so that's something kind of different. Something neat that they added to the prize fund, I guess. Everybody's just waiting around for the final award ceremony. $9,300 in prize fund will be awarded to the kids, on top of junior gold spots and
no energy and like phone to take a picture. Darn it.
All right, still waiting on the award ceremony. I don't think I may have gotten the information prematurely, so All right, here comes the award ceremony. I apologize, their wireless mic is not tied into our system, so you might be able to hear it, so I'll kind of try to keep quiet.
U15 boys and U15 girls will take a separate picture, and then we'll get you all together in a group picture. The U12 boy and girl, hopefully they stuck around. We'll get you in a picture. And then the same way with the U20 boys and girls. One picture for the U20 boys, one for the girls, and then we'll get you all together in a picture. Okay? Can everybody hear me okay? I've been rambling all day, I'm getting kind of hoarse. If Bobby can hear me, I know I'm okay. Okay, Mr. Stupid. Okay, we'll start, gosh, where should we start? Let's start with the high games. We got just some little mementos, or like, they're worth $20 or shoe covers. Don't complain about the color you get. The guys are going to get black. And gosh, the gals, we'll get the pink one to the U20 girl. How's that? And the orange to the U15. So high games today for the U15 girls was Mabel Cummings with 223. Mabel Cummings. What a many things. There you go. This is something. And the U15 boys. Bobby, geez, how old are you now? Huh? He's 12 years old and went high game in the U15 boys with 191. Wow. Wow. Really gets to be 15 and be clicking the U20 bucks. Okay. The U20 girls, Natalie Propowitz, 246. Natalie. Oh. Did you got another Kyle? You won last year's Good. Okay. And gosh, I guess it was easy to tie, tough to beat, Eric Julian at 300. And second time, maybe it's not so easy to tie it. Nice shooting, fella. Okay. Yeah, like I said, earlier I was saying the guys' high game that I could go back and find was 267, so we got a new high game, and the girls, I think it was 275. Okay, so much for that. Okay, we'll do the yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll give that when he comes up. We'll do the U12. U12, there's only a few bowlers, but we stuck that in there. We've been doing it for a few years. If you didn't score in the regular prize list, in the U15 prize list, you're going to get a scholarship, and it's worth $150 for the U12 boy and girl that didn't make the regular prize list. And so for the girls, we got Brianna Pimentel. Where's Brianna? Come here, bud. Is Brianna with us?
Show.
Did we let Brianna get away? Okay, well, we'll mail her. She'd get a medal and a $150 scholarship. Okay, and then U12 boys, Bobby O'Betler, back up here. Come on, Bobby. Gets a medallion and a $150 scholarship. And eventually we'll get you back up here and get a picture, okay? Just kind of hang in here. We'll get you. Okay, we'll move on with the U15 girls. In third place, shot 1301 from New Lenox, Mackenzie Julian for $150. Just stay up there. Hey Bobby, why don't you just come back? Eventually you're going to get this picture. We're running you back and forth, but that's okay. In second place, in second place from Joliet, Ariana Garino. She wins $250 scholarship. Nice going, Ariana. And gosh, Mabel, what are you, a freshman now in high school? She's a sophomore already. I guess we've been watching her bowl since she was in the grade school state tournament that comes here. Mabel Cummings from Elburn, Illinois, won $400 scholarship. she's a force to be reckoned with, let me tell you. Outstanding. And in fact, talking about the gal, she was high today. As a U15 girl, she shot 1598. So, yeah, within 2 pins, averaging 200 for the day. That's outstanding. Okay, yeah, just hang in here. We'll get a get Kim. Yeah. Okay, nice goal. Thank you. Okay, and we'll get the U15 boys up here, and then we'll have Bobby's already in third place. Jake Perkins, 1179 from Evanston for $140. Nice going, Jake. Second place, I think he was first last year. Alex, weren't you? In the U15, it was Alex Middleton. Alex, come on. Alex is from Plainfield, and his scholarship is $240. Nice going, Alex. These guys, it seemed like when they first started coming out here, they were this tall, and now they're growing like bad roots. Nance, you're in charge. And our champ in the U15 boys from Okina for $400 worth of scholarship, Alexander Nolan. Come on, Alex. Nice going, that fella. And then eventually we'll take a picture, we'll get them setting down, and then we'll come back when we give out the junior gold spots, so we get another picture. Does my hair look okay, guys?
You good?
We'll stay here till everybody's happy.
Oh, very
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. Nice going. Okay. Plug down, like I say, the junior goal will get you back up here in a second. Okay, where are we at? We're doing U20 girls. Okay, U20 girls. Pick the top 5. All the scholarship money is divided by the percentage of whatever division you're in. So, you know, the money that we get donated to us, like it just so happens that there was 3/4 of the youngsters of old today were in the U20 division. 1/4 was in the U15 and under, so all the money gets split evenly, and then in that division. So, okay. In 5th place, made 5 places. I was talking about how important 1 or 2 pins are. So 6th place was 2 pins away from 5th place. So for 2 pins, Abby Ragsdale won $375 from Aurora, Illinois. Nice going, Abby. I guarantee at the end of the day, when you're mad and you're throwing the ball in the gutter early in the day, and at the end of the day, if you just add 10 or 12 pins because you got mad, at the end of the day, it'll move you up a price list. I guarantee you. Okay, so it doesn't matter how bad things are, everybody has their problems. Okay, 4th place, familiar with Taylor Bailey for $475 from Joliet. Nice going, Taylor. I know she would like to go better, but gosh, nice going. Oh, don't run away. Make sure you stay here. Oh, okay, good. 3rd place, Emily Schrader from Orland Park, $575. Nice going, Emily. Emily's been up here before as a champ of the U12s, I think. In second place, the top three get medallions too in each group. Second place, Serenity Quintero from Aurora, $700. And our champ, our defending champ in the U20 from Silvis, Illinois, shot 1530 for $800. Taylor Crawford, our defending champ. She took it easy on everybody in the afternoon. Don't go too far because we'll want you to come back when the boys get done getting their picture, and then we'll get the boys and girls together. Okay, we only do this once a year, so you have patience. It's fun to look back. Like I say, you can look at the pictures back up there. Okay, do the U20 boys. 8th place. Shot 1514, so what's that, 86 divided by 8, 9, 10, 11, average 188 point, almost 189, for $350 from Roscoe Brandon Mooney. Nice going, Brandon. 7th place for $400 from Chicago, Livio Bolson. Nice going, Livio. 6th place, we thought the guy was going to set some records today, the way he started out. And 6th place for $450 from U Lennox, Eric Julian. And then we got a surprise for you later, but we'll give you that. Okay, 4th place, he's won the U12 and U15 division before from Peru, Illinois, Nate Stubler for $500. Finished with a nice 269 game today. Would have been high any other year that we've run the tournament. Okay, 4th place from Mokina, David Sante for $575 worth of scholarship.
Remember at the banquet?
3rd place, a medallion, $625 from Naperville, Ian Ridgway. Second place from Carpentersville, Brandon Biondo for $700. And our champ from Freeport, Illinois, shot 1621, so we averaged 202.5. Chris Wiley for $800. Publications.
All right, that concludes the tournament for today. They're just wrapping up the picture ceremony, so hopefully you heard all the names get called. What